Well, the Flyers are in the next round of the playoffs, and that makes me a very sad boy. Good afternoon and welcome to the podcast. I'm Nick Drago. Today on the show, we have a special guest for you. The young gun, Jayme Grumm, will be joining us to talk all about the sports, and more sports. Steven Strasbourg is out for the year, and Tiger Woods has to play golf like everybody else. What does that mean? No worries, friends. We're going to talk about it today on the show, so stick with us because sports starts now. Welcome to the Sports Podcast with me, your host, Nick Drago. And we have a specialty doozy today because joining me on the program is the young gun, Jayme Grumm. Now, you may remember Jayme-san has been here in the past, and, he knows about sports things here and there. A little bit round and round around the corner. He's even wearing a sports-based hat. I, too, am wearing a hockey hat, sir.
Cool.
But, my usual, I had a good weekend, nothing special, hung around the house, hung out with Jayme-san here, and that was about it. So, Jayme, you ready to talk some sports stuff with me?
Let's do it.
Great. I actually like your setup there. Are you in your attic? Where are you?
This is my current office because I moved out of the basement. It was getting a little too hot down there, so if we do Big Spoon, Little Spoon again anytime soon, maybe we'll do it up here.
There you go. Yeah, Jayme and I, we host our own podcast called Big Spoon, Little Spoon. There's about 10 or 15 episodes out.
Volume 2 was what we had just released, and now we need to get into Volume 3.
That was right before the COVID. So, we have not done Volume 3 yet.
Yeah, but we could probably do this now.
What's that?
We could do it on this.
We could zoom. We could zoom the whole thing. Let's zoom our whole lives. I'm zoomed in right now. I'm so zoomed right now.
Our first topic, Zoom.
And let me get my binoculars.
Wait. Zoom.
I feel bad for some of our fans who are not watching us on their computer screens right now, but instead of listening to the podcast version of our show. But nonetheless, we are here for you. I'm sorry you won't get to see our antics, but you can find us online, SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, and the Facebook. Just type in sports with Nick Drago. You can also email me directly, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. And I have to hiccup. Give me 1 second. Nope, we're good.
Good.
Yeah, so, I'm in my new studio here. We haven't really set things up. My sports stuff is behind me. It's got to get on the wall. I don't even know. I don't know where I'm going to set up yet. Hannah's usually our set designer. You what?
I drove up and I was like, that's his office right there. Because I think I see the little laptop sticking up there.
You could probably see the camera in there. Yeah, I still got to work on the lighting. You tell me. What do you think? Is this about right? Does this make me look too
a little
flush?
Bit to the left?
A little to the left. Is that better?
Nope, that's your right. Unless that's my right. Oh,
like
perfect.
This,
nope.
Like
nope. It's good.
I was having a lot of fun with that earlier, and now I'm blind, so great.
It's fun to be blind, I guess.
It's blind day. All right, why don't we let's talk about baseball. So cool. A lot of exciting matchups this weekend for baseball. Just real quick, going through the standings, the Rays are in first place in the AL East, 19-10. Yankees are close behind, 16-9. They've had a couple rough break recently. Nearly half the team is on the disabled list right now, so they're working through some issues. The Young Gun Orioles are 14-14, Blue Jays 13-13, and the Red Sox last place, 9-20. AL Central has the Twins on top, 19-10, Indians 17-11, White Sox 17-12, Tigers 11-15, Royals 11-17. In the AL West, it's the A's on top with those no good, darn dirty Astros at 15-13, pack of cheaters they are. Rangers at 10-17, Mariners at 11-19, and the Angels are 9-19. Going into the National League, Braves are 16-11, Marlins 11-11, Mets 12-14. Nationals 11-14. Phillies 9-14. Cubs in first place in the NL Central 17-10. Not far behind them are the Cardinals, who are kind of still in COVID world. They haven't played any games in a couple days. But
how does that work? Falling behind like that?
It really doesn't. Sorry, Jayme here. So this has happened a couple times. The Marlins, the Cardinals now. Speaking of the Marlins, they're actually doing really well at 11-11. So basically, a lot of their games got canceled for the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
In the Marlins case, they fielded like a backup team, which did surprisingly well. And then we don't know exactly how they're going to catch up these games. I think they're just going to go by win percentage at the end of the season.
That's what I was thinking. Like for some of these ones, they're going to have to still be in the standings somehow.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to go by averages. I wonder how some places are going to be like, how is that fair when we're playing more games? But what else can you do?
Well, I mean, it's what you see here. So the Cardinals in the NL Central are 9-8, and then you have the Brewers, the Reds are 11-15. So even though it's a 1-game difference, they're still yards ahead of the other two teams.
Okay.
And then you have the Pirates; they're 7-17. So yeah, that 1-game difference though makes all the world of difference. Who knows what the Cardinals' record would be if they played these last 2 weeks? I don't know. And then rounding off the NL West, you have the Dodgers at 22-8, Padres 18-12, Giants 14-16, Rockies 13-15, and the Diamondbacks there at 13-15. So pretty exciting stuff there. Okay, now we can talk about some news stuff. Now we got those standings out of the way.
I'm sorry I cut you off, but that's all new stuff that I'm kind of jumping into, which is weird.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the COVID thing is, of all teams to really derail the season, it was the Marlins in the first weekend that started getting sick. They're like the worst team in the league. But here and there, I think it was the Pirates most recently had 1 or 2 names in their clubhouse that have it. So it depends, it really depends on the contact tracing, who they've been in touch with.
Mm-hmm.
It was 18 Marlins that had it in the beginning of the season, and now it's a lot less.
Cases that they had it, not just cases. That they knew people who had it.
No, it was confirmed cases.
Wow.
They were at a casino like a night before their first game.
Oh no. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how you're going to get it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, because of all the COVID and not many players getting a chance to warm up before the season as they normally would, there have been a ton of injuries. The most recent is Steven Strasbourg of the Washington Nationals. He is their best pitcher, and he'll be out for the rest of the season.
What did he do?
It's a really good question. He's getting surgery on his wrist. That's right, carpal tunnel syndrome. So
not moving around all that much, and then you just pull something the wrong way, or
I mean it's happening a lot. At least in baseball, it's happening because they started spring training and then they had 4 months off and barely got to finish spring training. At least with basketball and hockey, they had I think a month or so of like pre-playoffs to prepare. Hold on a second. I'm gonna. Don't mind me. Just bumping my noggin into things, and we just got to plug in my phone so it doesn't die. While we're on the subject of the Washington Nationals, an employee of the team was fired today. Do you want to know why, Jayme?
Let's hear it.
So he's an administrator for the Nationals Academy in Boca Chica. Boca Chica. That's in the Dominican Republic, and there was a video that came out on Twitter. This was on Friday night. That was shown. He got into words with a cashier at a coffee place and threw 2 cups of hot coffee on that cashier.
Come on. I mean, like, this is the type of stuff like you see when you get a little bit of coffee on yourself. You're throwing that hot coffee on somebody. 2 cups.
2 cups. Like
2 cups.
Not even one. Like one wasn't enough. Like let's just throw a second one on there.
Now
like,
the baseball, the injuries in baseball are now reaching outside of the actual sport.
I don't know if that's considered an injury. But
I mean, that person probably got some burns.
She's burned because of baseball. That's true.
Yeah.
Baseball has burned me in my soul, but it's burned her in her face. Record was tied this weekend. Jose Abreu of the White Sox. He has been homering like crazy this year. He has 4 home runs in 4 straight at-bats. That is tied for the all-time record, and I'm trying to find who holds that record. Eddie Collins in 1923.
Wow, that
who
goes
hit
back.
4. Yep. No, I'm sorry. He's the first White Sox player since Eddie Collins with multiple hits and 4+ total bases in 5 games. But who had the previous record?
Someone's been secretly practicing.
I don't think it's a secret that these guys are practicing, but yeah. And then the MLB trade deadline is around the corner. A couple big names that could be on the move: Kevin Guzman, Drew Simley, Tajon Walker, Jordan Yamamoto, Alex Dickerson, Jacoby Jones, Whit Merrifield, Colin Moran. I don't know any of these players. Oh, Kevin Pillar, that's a big one. Yeah, a lot of players could be on the move in the next week with the the trade deadline around the corner. And then you ready to move into basketball?
Basketball.
Yeah.
They use brass now.
It's all brass.
All brass.
So the NBA playoffs have been going on, Jayme.
Okay.
And they have been quite exciting. The first round are just coming to an end now. So let's go through the last couple of games of this weekend. Oops, sorry, I went back in time. Yeah, where's Friday's games? So starting on Friday, the Raptors got a win over the Nuggets. They're actually 3-0 in their series against the Nuggies.
I like the Nuggies.
Do you? I don't.
No, I just like their name, man.
The Chicky Nuggies.
The Chicky Nuggies.
That's their team. Just their team. Pacers did get a win over the Heat, although I think the Heat ended up winning today. In that series, where am I? Hold on a second. I think I'm looking at the wrong scores here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, here we go. All right, yeah. I was looking at the wrong scores. I was like 2 months in the past. The Jazz got a win over the Nuggets. So Jazz are winning that series 2-1 right now. Celtics beat the 76ers on Friday, but then lost to the Sixers today. No, I'm sorry. They beat the Sixers again today, so they actually swept them.
Boom.
Yeah. Boom goes the sucks to be the 76ers. It really does. They got some young talent. Their big guy, Joel Embiid, literally just pounds the floor every night with his body. And he's frustrated. He's mad. You know, he doesn't have his guy, Ben Simmons, in the lineup, so it's really hurt them.
How many, so you're saying they have a lot of new players on there. Like how many new players they got?
Well, they just have a lot of young players. So It's not that there's no chemistry there. They have 2 superstar guys in Simmons and Embiid. And these 2 guys, they're young, but they have a lot of potential. What I think the Sixers need is another star, though. I just don't think they have what it takes. The other guy on that team was supposed to be Tobias Harris this year, who, granted,
those hiccups are killing you, by the way.
What's that?
Those hiccups are getting you good.
I'm getting so hiccuped today.
That was me at work all day today. I mean, so anyway, we're going to move on to the finance application.
So Tobias Harris, this dude, you should look this up. He took a nasty spill on there's a kitty cat behind you. Hello, kitty cat.
Oh, there she is. Well, she just scratched you were when we were testing the audio, and she ripped up the side. Is that what happened? That was her, because she slipped, and so of course her first reaction is, let me just dig my claws into the first thing I have near me, which was me, and
sorry,
my
human
body. Yep. So who am I looking up? Tobias here.
Look up Tobias Harris fall. And watch the replay from today's game.
Oh, man.
He took a nasty spill. And honestly, I really thought he actually got up on his own, left. He came back later in the game. I was really worried when I saw this. You pulling it up now?
I'm trying to find it, yeah. I think it's about to happen. Ooh. I mean, they didn't even notice it at first.
What's funny is that in the broadcast, they were doing an interview, and like totally, like the
his hand.
The person asking the questions in the interview kept going. Like I don't think she could have seen the screen when this was happening. It was just a really awkward moment on TV. But
I'm pretty sure she probably didn't see that because, like, you can clearly tell something was up.
Yeah.
And then you could tell. I mean, there was blood. There's blood there.
So, sports in general have been doing this new thing where it's like an interview or like a commercial during the game. And it's supposed to be during like boring periods.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you're not missing something boring. Like something exciting happens during those things.
What happened in the days where like you got your sportscasters talking about what's going on live? I mean, that was kind of the whole point of going to some games.
That's just too boring.
No, I that's what I like miss.
I don't see, but here's the thing: is like when I watch TV, like when I watch Game of Thrones, I don't need somebody narrating Game of Thrones to me. Like I just need to see it in action.
I know that's different, but most of the time they're just talking about like, oh, did you see that move? Like talk about what the players are doing as they're doing it, and then react to things.
True. Some other games from this weekend: Clippers beat the Mavericks on Friday, 130 to 122. But Luka Doncic had a nasty buzzer beater to get the hand on the Clippers, so they are now tied with Dallas in their series. The Bucks beat the Magic 121 to 107. They're leading 2-1 in that series. Heat got a win over the Pacers. They're now 3-0. Rockets lost to the Thunder. For the first time, they are 2-1, and that series has been living up to everything I anticipated it would be. So that series is fun, the Rockets and the Thunder, because two of the players on the Rockets, they're two big players, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, used to play together on the Thunder. And the Thunder's biggest player right now is Chris Paul, who used to play on the Rockets with James Harden. So there's a lot of intermingling between the superstars on these two teams. So that's been a fun series to watch. And then the Lakers, of course, were a big name going into this. Didn't look too good in game one against the Trailblazers, but they've won the next two, so they're up 2-1 in that series. I talked about the Celtics already beating the Sixers. And then the Raptors could close it out against the Nets tonight. It's the end of the third quarter. Oh, my God. It's the end of the third quarter. They still have another quarter worth of play, and they're ahead 116 to 87. So something tells me the Raptors are going to win that game. And then there's one last game tonight. That's the Nuggies and the Jazz. They'll play game 4. We will not have the answer to your prayers on that one tonight, unfortunately. By the way, LeBron James passed Tim Duncan for number 2 all-time in playoff wins.
Man.
Yep. He's, watching him play, it's hard to believe that he's like 36 years old, but he
I feel like we've been hearing about LeBron James for quite some time now.
Well, nowadays you start hearing about these guys when they're in high school. I mean, his son is 15 years old, 16 years old. He's already getting like college offers and scholarships.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Wow.
His son's amazing. I've actually seen highlights of him play. He's really good.
I wonder that kind of says something about the kind of father that LeBron James is. I mean, they probably grew up together. Like that's just like their pastime. He probably taught that kid everything he knows.
Well, it's funny. He's actually I like the guy. He's a really good role model, but like he's a big family man. Mm-hmm. He's always posting pictures of his family, his kids on Twitter. He's just a great role model.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into hockey.
Woo!
Yeah, seriously. So a lot of the last round series actually ended this weekend, and let's see. So the Bruins ended up beating the Hurricanes in their series 4-1. The Avalanche destroyed the Coyotes 7-1, and ended up winning their series. I think that was later. No, that was earlier in the week. Canadians pushed the Flyers to 5 games or 6 games. But Flyers came out on top in that one.
All right.
Stars beat the Flames. The Islanders got past the Capitals. Didn't get the sweep. We were all hoping for a sweep.
I wonder that Michelle would be proud of the Rangers. No, wait, she's an Islanders fan. That's right.
You forget your wife's favorite team? How dare you?
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard with those Long Island teams.
The Nucks beat the Blues and the Lightning. The Lightning got a win over the Blue Jackets, and then the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights, they beat their opponent, who was the Blackhawks. That's right, they beat the Blackhawks. So round 2 actually started this afternoon, yesterday. Dallas Stars got a win over the Avalanche in their first game. Bruins, they're playing the Lightning. That game's actually happening right as we speak, and that's an exciting one. Bruins are they were last year's runner-up. The Lightning are a perennial contender. They have a lot of speed, a lot of talent. They're scary to watch. So that's going to be a fun series, Bruins and Lightning. Golden Knights play the Canucks, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Golden Knights in a moment here. And then the Islanders and the Flyers, they'll start their series tomorrow at 7 p.m.
Wow, okay, that's one to watch.
So what do you think, Jayme? You live near Philly, but you're from Long Island. Which team do you root for?
I mean,
you're wearing a Penguins hat.
I mean, I know. So here's the thing, all right? I know that I can get a lot of flack in Pennsylvania or Philly in general just wearing this. But I've been to a Flyers game. I like watching the Flyers. My role, well, not my role, but my background in watching hockey really started with you. So it started off with the Penguins, and that's kind of just where I stuck. And then I find out my family, we started kind of out in the Pittsburgh area a little bit. So, or what's the one that's up north?
Erie?
No. So it's it's like the smaller league where it's not the Penguins, but
you're talking about the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Penguins. The
Wilkes-Barre Penguins, yeah. So Wilkes-Barre, we're from there. I don't know. I gravitate to the Penguins. So if I were to say anything from Long Island, though, I don't know. I mean, my wife's an Islanders fan. That's fine. But she rooted for a couple of years ago. She was a big fan of the Capitals win.
Oh, gross!
I know.
No.
She was really happy for the Capitals. Did I totally throw her under the bus there?
Yeah, you did. Warp.
Yep.
No. The Flyers look really good this year. This is first time this is their first playoff series win, I want to say, in 8 years. In 2010, they lost to the Blackhawks in the finals. That was the last really good season they've had. The Flyers look good, but the Islanders have a tendency to surprise people. They actually have a very good team. Boudreau's coaching the team. He's actually the same coach who led the Capitals to the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago.
Yeah. That was he made that announcement right after that, I think.
Yeah, he was leaving the team.
Yeah.
So the Islanders are good. But, they can surprise people. I'm not too fond of their goalie situation. They have Varlamov, they have Greiss. But I think they'll at least push the Flyers a little bit. They just ended a nasty series against a very speedy and surprising Canadiens team, the same team that upset the Penguins in the qualifying rounds. So I really I'm excited to see that series.
That one you said starting tomorrow, right?
That one's starting tomorrow, 7 p.m.
That's definitely one to watch.
Yeah. So I did say we were going to talk about the Golden Knights.
Please.
And, do you know the goaltender for the Golden Knights used to wear the emblem on your hat, sir? Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yes. So I like the Golden Knights. I would root for them again.
I don't think anyone hates the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
And right?
They're a nice, fresh team. I like that. Finally, people in LA Las Vegas have a team to root for.
You're gonna love this. Did you hear about the newest team that's coming to the NHL?
There's another new one.
Okay, I want you to look up.
I
want you to look up the logo for the Seattle Kraken.
Oh man, that name is great.
Right? I am so in love with this.
The logo?
Yes.
Is that what I think it is?
It's a tentacle.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's going to be the new NHL team on the block. I don't think they start in. I don't think it's till next season, but I could be
2021,
wrong.
2021, yeah.
2021, yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Very
NHL.
cool.
could have the Kraken, but probably not next season, I think, because next season's going to start surprisingly very soon. Typically, the NHL season starts early October or late. Yeah, it's usually October. So there's a chance they're going to delay the start of the next NHL season, and then the Kraken will be around for the one after that.
All right.
Anyway, so the Golden Knights and Marc-Andre Fleury. So the Knights have opted to go with Robin Lehner in net in the playoffs during the next round.
Wow.
And Fleury's agent is none too happy. Posted a picture online on Twitter of Marc-Andre Fleury with a sword being stabbed in the back with a sword. The assumption here is that the owner, Pete DeBoer, or the coach has stabbed Marc-Andre Fleury in the back. That's pretty big message.
What do you think the decision there was to do that?
So they started Lehner in 6 of their 8 playoff games. He's done really well. Fleury,
he's like on and off.
Fleury has been on and off in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So, and I could probably name every season for you right now. So in 2009, obviously he had a phenomenal season. In 2008 and 2009, phenomenal playoff seasons. He led the Penguins to back-to-back finals, right? They won the second one. They lost the first one. Okay. After that, there was a solid 7 years in which he was not spectacular in the playoffs. Even when they won in 2016, Matt Murray led the charge for most of the postseason. And in 2017, Murray was actually injured the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, and Fleury carried the team and did surprisingly well, got them past 2 tough opponents in the I know the second round opponent was the Capitals. First round opponent was probably the Blue Jackets, if I had to guess.
It's kind of like he gets burnt out pretty quick.
Gets the yips.
If you put him in the end of something, you'll finish it strong. But if you have him starting it out, he's not going to be able to pull through in the end. Yeah, so
in the playoffs he's shown flashes. Now Robin Lehner's sort of bounced around the league a little bit, and wasn't. I mean, he has a history. He actually has a very interesting backstory, history of alcoholism and whatnot. But last year was the surprise player of the playoffs. So he was the goalie for the Islanders, in which they swept Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. Nobody knew who he was. He wasn't, a big name player, but suddenly became a brick wall. And it looks like he's doing the same thing here for the Golden Knights. And Fleury had a great first season in Vegas. He led them to the finals in their first ever NHL season. So there's a lot of history though with him falling apart in the playoffs. I'm not shocked that they went with the decision. When it comes to hockey, you always go with the hot goaltender. That's just how it goes. Lehner's been hot, keep him in. By the way, Fleury did ask his agent to take that picture down because I don't think he was happy.
Good on him. I mean, he probably realizes his own strengths and weaknesses, and as a goalie, he would want to make sure that he's hot going into it too.
Yeah.
So it could just be that the strategy there is to just make sure they can finish strong.
Finish strong. I like it.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of the NHL playoffs, I have a personal vendetta. Not personal. I just have a vendetta against Mike Milbury. Mike Milbury is he's an announcer for NBC Sports. He covers the NHL for NBC Sports, and he might be the most hated NHL announcer, or any announcer really, in the big 4 sports.
What is this?
So something tickled me this week. Sorry, I was tickled last week. He actually got in trouble. This is the second week in a row he's gotten in trouble.
What is happening there?
The first time he got in trouble because Tuukka Rask left the bubble. He wanted to be with his family. There's issue with his family. He wanted to be home for it, and he sort of gave Tuukka Rask shit for it. And a lot of people were not happy about that. But this week, Michael Milbury. Wait, where's the line? I don't have the specific quote. Yeah, here we go. So Mike Milbury and Brian Boucher. Boucher. I don't know French names. Brian Boucher were discussing the benefits of being in the NHL playoff bubble, right? So they all these teams are living in one hotel. They're playing in one arena.
So they do not get sick.
Yes, totally separated from the world.
Yeah.
NBA did the same thing.
It's a long time to really do that.
It really is. So this is what was said between the two of them. So this is Boucher's comment. He said, if you think about it, it's a terrific environment with regard to if you enjoy playing and enjoy being with your teammates for long periods of time, it's a perfect place. And Milbury responded with, not even any women here to disrupt your concentration. Which was seen as incredibly sexist.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's some foot and mouth syndrome if I ever heard it right there.
So, yeah, people are pissed at Mike Milbury, and because of that, they actually took him off of the NHL playoff broadcast.
Yeah! Oh, wow.
So, a lot of times I don't, it's hard to be on TV. You get all the money and the fame and whatnot.
How long has he been doing it for?
Oh, a very long time.
So he's just I think he's stuck in like a weird mindset that, it's kind of like those times have passed a little bit.
I think in his head, he just, he's not like a generally old man, but what he thought he was saying was innocent and not realizing that what he said was actually insulting. However, an even worse kerfuffle happened on live TV. The Reds have an announcer whose name I do not remember. Let's see. Tom Brenneman. He reports for the Reds for Fox Sports. During a commercial break or they were off screen, he thought his mic was off, and he was caught saying, I guess they were having a discussion about a certain place, he was caught saying that this particular place is the fag capital of the world.
That's bad.
Yes, it is.
Ooh.
Yes, it is.
Ouch.
So I think they suspended him. I don't know for how long,
I mean, this is during a time where, you gotta watch, man. I mean,
right?
Also, you shouldn't be, feeling that way, but in general, but, you gotta watch, because that's the kind of thing that's gonna make or break your career.
I have a microphone strapped to me. I'm not going to say something like that. No, I wouldn't say it to begin with, but if I was going to say something incredibly racist, I wouldn't say it with a microphone strapped to my shirt.
When I'm working and I'm on the phone, I am muting my mic and checking it 3 times just to make sure that if I fart or burp, no one's going to hear it. And I don't even need to be on a call. I just don't want someone to pick up on that. You got to be careful. But also, that says a lot about who you are.
I just farted right now. Did you pick up on that?
I mean, I kind of smell a little.
Oh, I kind of taste it. All right, we're going to move real quick to football here.
Okay.
The Baltimore Ravens released safety Earl Thomas after an on-field altercation. He got into a fist fight with one of his teammates, Chuck Clark. And so Earl Thomas will no longer be a member of the Baltimore Ravens. His last team, so he was with the Seattle Seahawks for a very long time.
Yeah.
In his last game with the Seahawks, he actually flipped off his head coach.
Someone's got some issues.
This is a common occurrence with him. And of all teams, of course, that want to pick up the former Pro Bowler, the Dallas Cowboys are in the mix. So,
that would make sense.
Good luck if you're going to the Cowboys. Tiger Woods made a comment this week. He shot a 66 at the Northern Trust, and he says he misses the energy that fans bring to golf. So, Tiger, I'm sorry, but now you have to play golf like the rest of us. We don't all have everyone cheering and clapping every time I walk up to the tee box, man. You got to play golf like a human for once.
I wonder seeing there where it's they really just want you to be quiet though. That's I feel like golf is more so even the sports we were watching it. It's it's relatively quiet. You get an applause, but you don't have people shouting and screaming.
Not necessarily. Only twice. So there's 2 different instances where I can say that stuff happens. One is the Waste Management Open, which is a golf tournament where they actually surround, I think it's the 16th hole. They surround one of the holes with a grandstand. You're allowed to get as drunk as you want and heckle the players the entire time. And it's hilarious.
I just picture them. Do they ever get mad? That's something I'd want to watch. Like golfer, just a montage of golfers getting mad at fans.
Well, the big thing especially with that particular event is the players know what it is, and so like the ones who it's going to bother them aren't going to show up to that one. It's not like you could go to whatever tour, whatever tournament you want to.
Yeah.
And then the other instance where this stuff happens is actually whenever a major tournament happens on Long Island. So when the U.S. Open was at Bethpage's Black, I think this was last year, 2 years ago, you could hear fans in the crowd cheering, especially for their favorite golfers the entire time. And if that's not just typical New York Long Islanders, then we're doing ourselves a disservice, because that's totally normal for us. The rest of the golf world is like, oh, God. But
be a jerk. Nah. Represent.
Yeah. Strong Island. So yeah, Tiger Woods is stuck playing golf like a normie for once. So sorry about that, Tiger.
Oh.
All right, before we wrap up the show, Jayme, so in case you didn't know, we were talking about some of the top 25 greatest moments in sports history over the last couple of weeks. Now, we took a pause, because one of us was moving. It was me. I've been moving.
Come on, man.
So, I haven't had as much time to talk about these things, and really have been like struggling to like put out a show every week, but we're back in action now.
You got your office now.
We're in my new office now. Yep.
There.
This is the thing. So hold on, let me adjust my lighting again. There we go.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Wow. Who did your makeup? It's beautiful.
Oh, God. I actually think I blinded myself this time. Mom, is that you?
Hi.
Is that what my mom sounds like?
Oh, sorry, Lori.
Okay, we're good. We're moving on. So today's top moment, I think we're on moment number 22. May not be considered the greatest to everybody, but for me personally and for the world of hockey, this was a huge moment for the modern game of hockey. In 2009, two scrappy young rivals faced off for their first time in the NHL playoffs, and it became one of the most classic decorated series of recent history. That being, of course, the 2009 Penguins Capitals playoff matchup. So both superstars, Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin, came up at the same time. They, pushed each other to the edge. Ovechkin won the Rookie of the Year. Crosby won the MVP, the Hart Trophy, the next year. And it's really been a back and forth between the two of them going into this matchup. So game 1 and 2 was all Washington, but the most exciting part about game 2 is that both superstars recorded a hat trick in that game. It was game was tied at 2-2 in the third period. Ovechkin took over. He scored late, goal 2, goal 3, put them ahead 4-2, and then Crosby did get a hat trick later on in the game. But both superstar players, two generational talents that I can't even compare to anyone currently in the game.
I mean, Ovechkin, that was Michelle cheering for him the whole time. She absolutely
gross. Just gross.
We just had to root for opposite teams that one.
Oh, okay. I see how
that was it. Yeah.
So game 3 in that series then went over to Pittsburgh. Penguins won it 3-2. That was in overtime. Chris Letang with his first ever playoff goal. And then when we got to game 4 and 5, Penguins took control and took lead of the series. 2 overtime games across that. One of them with a game-winning goal by Evgeny Malkin. Game 6 went to the Capitals, and now we were going to Game 7. Again, the two titans of this game, the two best teams. Whoever won this was likely to win the Stanley Cup. And Pittsburgh ended up not only winning the Cup, but did win this series, or I guess you could say that the reverse way around. Ovechkin came out early in Game 7 with a breakaway, got past Rob Scuderi, and it was probably Fleury's greatest save in his entire career was on that breakaway. And from that moment on, Pittsburgh took over and won that game 6-2. Both guys scored 8 goals during that series. Crosby had 13 points. Ovechkin had 14 points. That is a series. You're to see something like that again is it's going to be a long time. There's no current major rivalry in the sport of hockey like there was between Crosby and Ovechkin back in the early days of their career. I can't even argue that rivalry is as intense now as it was then. But when they play each other, it does fire back up.
It's a bit there. There's a little bit of history.
Yeah. So to me, I think that is one of the greatest moments in the modern game of hockey. And so it did deserve to be on this list. Next week, we'll be going to number 22 on the list. 21. I don't even know where I am anymore.
I think you just said 22. This was 22.
This was 22.
This was 22.
What is next on the list? Let's just get a quick
little peek.
Yeah, let's get a sneak peek.
A little sneak peek.
Let me sneak some peeks here. I don't know. Well, I don't know where that sneak peek is hiding from us. But, well, no sneak peek. Sorry, you're just going to have to tune in next week to find out what the next greatest moment is in sports history. All right, friends, with that, I'm going to close out the show.
You just froze on my screen like this.
Oh, it says my internet connection is unstable.
Oh, that's just what happened to me.
It's like my internet's going to just pop out with a gun like, I'm unstable! Just end it! I don't know why my computer became Sam Kinison, but
the internet's got a gun aimed at me. No!
Okay, special thanks as usual to Johanna Drago. She's the content editor, set designer, and logo designer of this podcast. Our social media warriors, Mary Kay and Gary Albert. Also Joe Calabro, Jorge Pajares, and special shout out to Brendan Madonia, who apparently has also listened from time to time. So hopefully you listen tonight, buddy. And then, of course, we got to say the music for the show is a song called Golden Sunrise by Josh Woodward. A link to his website can be found in the show notes. I actually remember to say that on this show, Jayme. Not as much. We forget to say that a lot on Big Spoon, Little Spoon.
I mean, we're still sort of new. And also, like, I think our recording times have always been a little, like, very far spaced because we do it in batches. Like, maybe with this, we can try and keep it a little bit more regular.
We could try to do, yeah, we can keep more regular.
Then our shirts change.
Batchy. Oh, yeah, I'll just change my shirt. Yeah, nobody's ever poked at that. Like, hey, it's been 7 straight episodes, and Nick is still wearing the same T-shirt. Like, don't you get sweaty at all?
That's what I was about to say, like, and then Jayme starts to look like he's got a little sweaty halfway through.
Yeah, episode 1 of each block is like, we look fresh-faced, like we're not tired. And by the last episode, it's like, the pit stains, we're like, our water bottles are almost done. We're like, just get out of here, let's just finish this. I don't even care anymore.
And sometimes I'll start off with, like, a beer, right? And then I'm like, I still have that same beer. It's like, no, that guy is an alcoholic. He's got a beer each time. No, it's the same one. It's most likely empty after like the first episode.
Yeah, it's the same beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to check out Big Spoon, Little Spoon, that is my other program in which me and the young gun Jayme Grumm here talk about literally life, love, and the pursuit of happiness that is knowledge. So yeah, you should definitely check that one out. It's a lot of fun. So Big Spoon, Little Spoon, you can find us on all your favorite podcasting apps. Just like this show, you can find us on SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And once you're there, you can email me, sports3xpodcast@gmail.com. And you can like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all those funky juju dad things that you like to do. Jayme, any closing remarks?
I like sports.
Me 3. All right, thank you for joining me again, young gun Jayme Grumm. Likes sports. You can check more of him out on Big Spoon, Little Spoon, or what's your other podcast? Your Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Yeah,
we're on Twitch right now. I think we're about to start posting things like on YouTube, so we're not just quite there yet.
Okay.
But that is Captain Reboot on Twitch. So every Sunday, even though it hasn't been the last 2 ones, because we have some players that are out sick. So we're still tentative. We're still working it out, but our story is getting pretty good. It's about time to get in there and check it out.
Cool. All right, Captain Reboot. Find more Jayme on Cat
and Reboot. No, I'll send you the link.
Find a link on his Twitter account. Can you post it there? Just do that.
I'll do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Captain Reboot.
Great. All right, friends. Thank you for joining me. And per usual, caw.
Did I do it?